Welcome to another video, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just start by saying I've been on YouTube a long time. Not as a content creator, obviously, but a long time, since, late 2000s. Mostly doing research, looking at lectures, things of that nature, gathering information. I've seen a lot of crazy things. I heard a lot of crazy things, but this right here, this is some of the most batshit crazy shit I ever heard in my life. Before I jump in, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and of course share it with everyone you know. Not that we just want to share the crazy, but we just, we want to point certain things out. I think it's imperative that we do that. Can we do that? All right, let's go.
I'm glad you asked. Let's talk about it. So trigender and the way you identify in it can be very heavily based on your culture and your cultural background. For example, I know in Hawaiian culture, there are 3 genders. There's a third gender. I forget what it's called. I'm sorry. But if you happen to be Native Hawaiian, you could identify as that third gender and then man and woman. Or if you happen to be, from Native Hawaiian background, and on the other side you have a different background that also has a third gender, you can identify as those 2 non-binary genders. And then take your pick if you want man or woman, or not even another non-binary gender. But all in all, it comes from your cultural background. So for me, I come from a very heavy Dutch background and American background. So for me, it's more based on if there's man on one side, woman on the other, and non-binary is somewhere in the middle, and then I take up that whole area, the whole bar there. And I know for a lot of people, non-binary is a completely separate spectrum, and that's just not my experience, but I still think that that's a valid experience to have. It all depends on your experiences and your personal history, I hope this answers your question. Let me know if you have any more questions, and I'd be happy to answer them. Oh, I think I forgot to mention, for those of you who are newer here or just don't know, I identify as trigender. This is my trans identity, and I am a man, a woman, and non-binary. So, take that bar again, man, woman, non-binary. I just take up the whole bar, and it's different from...
So, as I said, this is the first time I'm ever hearing about trigender. Right? I don't know where that fits into the acronym that specific set of people use. I thought the T was for trans, but now there's a trigender, so who knows, right? I don't know. But it's interesting because, you have these things getting a lot of airtime. A lot of people are talking about it. And it seems to me that there's a bit of a God complex with a lot of these people, right? They present in a certain way, but then they want you to address them as something different. Like, let's say this person right now just says that there are 3 genders. What the hell do you address this person as? This person is a man, a woman, and non-binary. What do you address this person as? I have no clue. I don't even know if they know, right? Because they is not masculine or feminine. They is just, they. But then it's non-binary, so you? Hey, you. Maybe? You? Hey, you. What else are you going to call this person? Right? You can't address them as a male name. You can't address them as a female name. You can't address them as a certain gender because they're also non-binary. It feels like this is the whole transhumanism idea and ideology just coming out, right? It's not come full circle. It's actually done a 180 from where people thought it was going to go. Right? Everybody was saying tech and humanity, right? We're going to merge, right? That's the whole reason a lot of people are really leery about Elon Musk, by the way, because of Neuralink and this whole thing about connecting to the brain. Yeah, it sounds good on the surface, but slippery slope, right? This is one of those things that people said from the beginning, slippery slope. All right, you give them one thing, they're going to want more and more and more. Tucker said something very interesting. I'm going to play it now. Just listen to it and tell me if you think that he's onto something, because I think he is. Pay attention.
What?
I can't do I know, I'm so old. It's like shocking to me.
Stop.
I feel great actually, but
well, that's what matters.
I do feel great.
That's literally what matters.
But I'm moving toward death at like pretty high speed. And one of the first things to go is my sight, and I can't text without my glasses on.
I've been feeling that way since I was very young, moving towards death at a rapid rate.
Yes, because we are.
Yes.
And the root of all wisdom is knowing that,
Exactly.
Is knowing that.
Exactly. And so many people are just afraid to talk about it, acknowledge it.
Yes.
As though it's some taboo subject.
No, I don't feel that way at all. And I feel like people who are aware of death are way happier and lighter because they're not denying, what's just biologically intrinsic. Like you can't get away from it,
Exactly. Because if you acknowledge the reality of death and that it's not just something like, okay, I'm going to set my clock. It's going to come at this time, at this place, at this age.
Yes.
Then you realize how precious life is, right?
Yes. And you're not in control. You're not like the hubris starts to recede a little bit because you're like, actually, I can't control that. And
exactly.
And that's a good thing. It's good to keep that knowledge ever present.
Oh, man. I know in our conversation last night on your show, that was your final comment. It's like, why are these people doing all these crazy things and this insanity of like trying to be in control of what is true and biology and all this stuff? And you said it perfectly, is they're trying to be God. They think they are God.
And I think if the world is divided into two groups, not, Christian, Jew, Muslim, Hindu, whatever. No, it's people who think they're God and people who know they're not. Yeah. And those are the two categories in my head anyway. Yeah. And I'm on one side. I know I'm not God.
Yeah. You and me both, buddy. God, that's so true. It also kind of lends to, ultimately that's the problem with that is the truth about all of the problems that we face in society.
Yes.
Right there. That
I
says it all.
completely agree. I brood on this every day in my sauna. I think about this stuff.
Yeah. We when I think about a lot of the things you talk about, there's a lot of things that I've talked about, when you look at drug addiction, you look at corruption in government, you look at, the deep dissatisfaction of society, you look at, the problems we have in mainstream media, the problems we have within leaders in just about every sector in our society. It all comes down to, I think, the two things. One is people think they're God and they think they're in control.
Yes.
And the other is a lack, they're chasing all the wrong things in whether it's money or power or attention or, so-called love, affirmation, fame, and just this desire to be liked. And all of these things just come down to this refusal to even take a moment and ask the all important question is like, what is the purpose of my life?
I know.
Right? Like, what am I chasing?
I totally agree. How could you miss that?
And I think that is what is sorely missing. I think so, 100%. Because, I saw a video with this teacher, right, that's making this TikTok or whatever in a car. And this person is having a total meltdown over some boy from the classroom who she says is misgendering her. Now, I don't know what the misgendering pronoun is or whatever the case is. Not important to the point. The point is, this person is supposed to be a teacher in a public school classroom and is outside making a video calling this boy all kinds of names, right? He's homophobic, he's transphobic, he's everything else because he has misgendered this person. You're at the school to teach. Are you fulfilling your purpose? When you're outside on your free time, then that's when you know, self, your identity, whatever. You're in a school to teach. You've already been accepted into that school. It's not like you try to get a job and people say, oh, well, you're transgender. No, you can't work here. You have a problem with one boy, but you have this entire meltdown about it, trying to get him kicked out of the classroom, transferred, all these things. But you're there to teach. How about you do your damn job? Right, there's another one. Barista at some kind of coffee place or something. She's making this drink and making a video. Oh, this person just misgendered me. How hard is it? I have the badges right here. Why can't they just use my pronouns? You're a cashier at a damn coffee shop. How about you just serve the people their damn coffee and get the line moving? Do you have a name? How about you just wear a name tag? So just in case somebody calls you ma'am or whatever, you have a name tag. So like, let's say you still look like a woman, but you're identifying as non-binary or what. You still have a name, right? Wear a name tag. Let's say you look like a woman, but you still identify as a man. Wear your name tag. This whole they, them. I just showed you a person that says they're tri-gender. How do you address this person apart from you? Or hey, yo. And people don't like you addressing them like that. But what else are you supposed to address somebody who has all these different meltdowns? Multiple of them all over social media. Like, yo. Well, I didn't know your pronouns, so hey, yo. Right? Now, I don't know if these people have been brainwashed en masse. Like, is something in the rain? Is something in the water? In all the chemicals in the food? I have no clue what it is. Probably that's, possibility. I don't know. Like one of these mass experiments, like it will take on some, it won't take on others, Maybe. Who the hell knows? Right? But there are people in positions who are playing God. They're saying, hey, I'll cut this off, I'll cut that off, and you can be this gender. Or I'll cut this off, I'll add this, you can be this gender. And then the people themselves who've had these procedures, they come out here and now they want to play God. Everything has to revolve around their identity. It's playing God on multiple levels. But not really asking themselves, hey, what is my purpose here? Right? You could have been aborted. You could have been thrown in the garbage. You could have been stillborn. Right? You could have been so many things. But you're here. You're here. You have the breath of life in you. At least ask yourself, in the grand scheme of things, yes, you're a microcosm of something much larger, right? You have your own little world that you exist in, that's fine. But why are you here now? Right? Aren't you born in the 1300s, 1200s or something like, way back then? Why are you here now? That's the big question. Maybe answer that first. Anyways, I think I've spoken enough. I think I'm losing my voice to a certain extent. So, until next time, I'm out. Peace.